I think it was Teilhard de Chardin who said that research is the highest form of adoration. It applies as much to the practice of science as it does to horticulture, of course. Ultimately, everything's a divine art, I suppose you could say. Here in the garden at Aprovecho Research Center, which is over here, which is where all the rather remarkable scientists endeavour to really approach I suppose, a global story about saving health and the planet in the same breath. It's very much the same adventure to a degree. This sort of seamless spectrum, this seamless narrative that occupies horticultural efforts here, for example. Behind me, perhaps just here, can you see this cluster of crops here? Those are leeks going to seed. And here, these are brassicas, or what we call, these are the kales and collards that prove absolutely essential part of the local diet, year-round local diet. And one of the reasons we're making such an effort to focus on seed saving here is because you could say that the cultural space here affords us a certain freedom to explore a dimension of holistic plant breeding that the conventional plant breeding establishment has a difficult time getting to. It has a lot to do with the practical effects and requirements of economics and so on and so forth. But as we move into more of an ecological, as distinct from an economic embrace, the way nature actually works, rather than our synthetic approaches to it, what we find is we're freed into an ecological territory, ontological territory, or as we would say, an eco-cultural territory that allows us to explore forms of plant stewardship that most people don't even really consider, never mind get to. So what it allows us to do in practice is foster, one might say, a degree of resilience and ecological patterning and integrity that has enormous power and strength. It's particularly well applied to, for example, the rigours and challenges of climate chaos, which present these extraordinarily changeable conditions that are presenting real challenges for people raising food worldwide. What we're able to do, in a sense, is breed a degree of flexibility into the genome that a lot of the systems that support industrial agriculture, for example, are less well equipped to do. There are many of these efforts happening at the small scale and local scale across the world, but essentially they're providing a backbone not only to the advent of what we call the sustainable re-inhabitory food shed movement, but also allow us to share this material that has this incredible you could say fluidity, behavioural fluidity with regard to changing planetary conditions with other people. We've taken material from here down to extraordinarily trying testing conditions in Northern California and been able to adapt it very successfully to conditions there. It's a reflection of the fact that there's a broadness and integrity to the genome that we can create using these avant-garde plant stewardship techniques that work very well to move us into a coherent response with regard to the great polycrisis and all the changes involved in meeting it in ways that keep both the environment and human community sane and healthy. So, in a sense, a research complement to the stove builders here. There's got to be food on stoves, and there's got to be food that can adapt to the real politic of climate chaos in much the same way there have to be ways to heat food in ways that respond to the real politic of climate chaos too.